Hey guys, it's Tiffany, and you found me on the Wise Skies channel, and I'm doing Free Tarot Friday. We're using the Tarot of Mystical Moments, and this is just a fun look at your weekend ahead. Hopefully it's a fun look at your weekend ahead. It is snowy and icy here in Austin, kind of a repeat of last February where we're all iced in, the schools have been canceled. And so let's just see what the cards have in store for everybody's weekend, no matter where you're watching. I know there's been a lot of massive weather events, so our hearts are with you. Everybody going through a difficult season, whether that's the storms, in nature or the storms in your own life. There's a lot of intensity out there, and I know I promised good vibes in February, so don't worry, they're coming. Don't worry, they're coming, right? Mercury is now out of retrograde, and we have some other things that we're looking at in the skies right now. And in fact, I'm going to send out a newsletter that talks about some of the cycles of Saturn. And so if you haven't looked at that yet, I just encourage you to play around on our blog. The different articles are up at wiseskiescollective.com. And so just taking a moment to reflect on the astrology helps you feel centered. It just kind of gives you an anchor in the month to be like, okay, that's what's going on. But for now, we're going to play with the cards. So let's clear the deck and see what it is that our friends need to hear for the weekend ahead. If you're brand new to the Wise Skies channel, Wise Skies is a metaphysical counseling company. We offer different elevated psychic sessions and readings. And we like to use a lot of different lenses to look at ourselves, to understand our own journey. So if you want to check us out, we're at wiseskiescollective.com. All right, so just clearing first for our Aries friends. What is it that our Aries need to hear for the weekend ahead? Nice. The Emperor reversed. And the Page of Cups reversed. Before I forget, I want to invite everybody to our membership because February is electric. There is so much juicy, good stuff in there. It's $22 a month, and you get our workshop on Ancestral Tarot. You get an Akashic love reading. You get the AstroTarot readings that are more in depth for each sign using 3 decks, and a human design support call, which is all about the solar plexus center. So very interesting month. I just wanted to invite you guys before we got started. All right, so the Emperor and the Page of Cups reversed for Aries. To me, this looks like maybe just a little bit lackluster with the work that you have set out to do. Maybe there's a project you started that you don't want to finish. No big deal. Maybe there's a project that you started that somebody else could finish for you. It just looks like you want to get something off your heart, off your plate, off your mind when it comes to a task that you have agreed to. It's okay to back out of something. It's also okay to say, I actually changed my mind and this isn't what I had in store. So just follow what your heart is telling you. It feels like something in the work area is either draining you, or you're just kind of bored with, or you're just not really looking forward to. It's not lighting you up. But sometimes work is just work. So you might not need to do anything different. You might just be like, yeah, I feel really heard and seen. Like, work is not fun for me right now. But just be aware that a lot of people with their sun or moon or Aries rising, and sun or moon in Aries or Aries rising, are really powerful at starting things, at finding that impulse, and you don't always have to be the one to finish things. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, let's clear the deck for Taurus. What is it that our Taurus friends need to hear for the weekend ahead? Clearing for Taurus. All right. What is it that Taurus needs to hear? Okay, well, we'll start there. So we got the Devil card. It is reversed, and the 5 of Swords. This is interesting, isn't it? And so it does look like some shadow work. It does look like the things that you're overcoming something. It feels like you are out of a cycle of something. The Devil card upright would be like, oh, that obsessive thinking about relationships, money, the stuff that people get crazy about, right? But it is overturned. And so I do feel like this is something that you are getting some lived, the Devil backwards, right? Lived experience with. And so I feel like you're having a weekend, a moment to do either some shadow work, some reflecting, some grief work around something that you have overcome. What are the things that you have overcome, and where can we grieve a little bit through it, right? It's not like you want to plan your weekend and be like, yeah, let's have a cry party. But sometimes when you make decisions and you outgrow situations, it can be sad. You know, you don't want to leave people behind when you're outgrowing something, and you feel like um, it can be exciting, but there can also be a sadness to that. You know, you could be a little bit homesick. You could be a little bit sad about some habits that you kicked and want to go back to. You know what I mean? This is an interesting pair, but it does look like reflection is in order. And it does look like you are walking away from something that has felt unhealthy to you. And, you know, it's like, yeah, I am. All right. All right, let's clear for our Geminis. What is it that our Geminis need to hear just for the weekend ahead? Some little fresh advice, insight, or guidance for our Geminis. What they're going through. Okay, so since everything's reversed, all right, we get the Four of Wands and the King of Swords, right? So here, Gemini, something feels unsettled. Something feels like you're bopping around the universe. Maybe you're rearranging the living room. Maybe you're, you know what I mean? Maybe things feel a little bit upside down, like everything's out there in the open. And maybe it can also feel like things are a little bit harsh, right? The Four of Wands represents stability within mobility. So this is like the surfboard of life. And when it's reversed like this, it can just feel like everything's upside down, like you're living out of bags, or, you know what I mean? Like living out, like you're just bouncing around a lot is what this feels like. And it also feels like somebody has just laid it out for you. So whether it's physically, like they've laid it out for you, or they verbally laid it out for you, it looks like there's some discomfort, perhaps at home, and it's okay. You know, it's just a blip. It's going to pass. It's going to get better. But it does look like there's something for you to organize, sort through, and address directly. Maybe that was a better way. I wish I'd said that at the beginning. Maybe there's something for you to sort through, organize, and address directly, Gemini. All right, let's clear for our Cancer friends. What is it that our Cancer friends need to hear for the weekend ahead? Just some insight and guidance that would help them feel seen. Clearing for Cancers. Can be Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, Cancer Rising. All right, we get the Ace of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. So, and they're both reversed here, right? So this can feel a little bit also unsettling. It can feel like you're on a quest and maybe you lost sight or lost the vision for the quest that you were on. So I would recommend kind of getting clear with your mission, your why, your purpose, why you're doing what you're doing. If you started making a garden and it's not going so well, it's like, it's okay to pause and reassess. If you started a new adventure, a new project, and it's just not clicking, it's okay to pause and reassess. This is the energy of slowing down, resting, pausing, and reassessing your situation here. This is not about going forward. This is not about giving up either. It's just about pivoting something internally. What is it that our Leos need to hear for this weekend? Just some general insight, advice, or guidance. All right, the Chariot and the Star reversed. All right, so this is kind of like two energies, one foot on the gas pedal and one foot on the brakes. This is about going forward, and this is also about being selfless. So I would say, where can you selflessly go forward? Where can you put somebody else first, Leo? Where can you put their considerations and their needs ahead of yours? It looks like there's some collaboration needed here. I forget that this deck is represented by a snail, but most of the chariots are either have horses or swans that are out in front of them. And so it requires, it usually indicate, like the symbology or imagery indicates somebody that is needing the assistance of their animal friends pulling them forward. This momentum comes from the collaboration. They're not like whipping them into shape, and they're not aggressively going forward, and they're also not being jerked around, right? There's a collaborative effort here. So where can you collaborate, but where can you also just put somebody else first and propel them forward. It's like that we all rise together. Where can you kind of encourage that tide that lifts all boats? Where can you step back a little bit and let somebody else shine? Where can you acknowledge somebody else's hard work? Doesn't mean forever, just this weekend, it seems like. All right, after Leo, let's see, let's clear the deck for Virgo. What is it that our Virgos need to hear? Just some special insight, guidance, wisdom for our Virgo friends. Just clearing for Virgos. Okay. All right, the Seven of Cups reverse and the World card. Interesting. So it's like really getting in your own way here, that analysis paralysis. This is about a whole lot of options and not being sure which one to take, or maybe finally coming to a decision after a long time and just feeling that sense of relief that comes when you actually make a decision and can move forward. It feels like if you've been stuck in some kind of stagnation, it could be some sadness, it could be some overwhelm, it could be just like a lot of plate spinning type of a feeling. A lot to do, you know what I mean? If you've been stuck in that sense of urgency and lots of things happening and still just not a lot of clarity, gosh, it's like just put the backpack of rocks down, because the World card is right there for you. It's all going to be okay. I think something's coming full circle, and it's been a long journey. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a long journey, Virgo, and so now it's time to reap the rewards. That karmic boomerang is coming in your favor. The karma boomerang is Saturn, and that is what we're going to be talking about in the newsletter, the cycles. So, you know, if it's been heavy, if you're still confused, if you don't know what to do nothing. It's not the right time to make a decision. Just know that you're not going to be like stuck in that indecision for much longer. Everything's going to be okay. It's a beautiful card to get. It's the last of the major arcana, and it indicates a fullness, a sense of satisfaction and wholeness. All right, let's clear the deck. Who's after Virgo? Libra, right? Clearing for Libra. The Nine of Swords reversed is what fell out here. All right. So Libras, some of you Libras coming over a sense of anxiety, a sense of nervousness, something that has just bothered you for a while, something that has felt out of sorts, seems to be resolving now. Okay. Something maybe you've been nervous to share, something that you've been sad about, just something that's kind of been maybe hidden. It's like you're giving yourself permission to just kind of live out loud, be yourself, be true with what is. It's almost like your worst fears coming true. It could even be less than that. So it feels like some fear has been realized, and it just feels like this frustration period of not knowing what's next, but also needing to pause and kind of accept and be able to move forward, knowing that all these things that you were so scared of weren't really worth wasting your time and energy about being scared of them. And so this is like a new lease on life, a new energy, a willingness to kind of bury the hatchet and move forward in a new way. Is that like a shadow on me, or what is happening on my eyes? All right, after Libra comes Scorpio. Let's see what our Scorpios have for some advice or practical guidance. Okay, one fell really far, excuse me. Okay, Two of Swords reversed here. Just clarifying for Scorpio. So difficult decisions. You know, sometimes they come up. Sometimes you make decisions and they don't work out the way that you planned. The Two of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles reversed. So I would just say that this is difficult decisions, but they're decisions that are kind of luxurious. So it's like just kind of remembering a sense of humility with where you are, and just that kind of humble heart with that gratitude that you get to make such hard decisions, that you get to think through things with astrology and tarot. That's what I would suggest for us Scorpios. It feels like a sense of indecision has also robbed you in some way. So this thing that you have kind of let linger for too long has robbed you of time, maybe robbed you of hours that could have been useful, robbed you of your own creativity, right? And so where can you get more clear with yourself? We're on that journey, right? I think forever, all of us, we're all trying to get more and more clear as the journey continues. So what is it that you need to be honest with yourself about, Scorpio? Get clear on. All right, let's clear the deck for Sagittarius. What do our Sages need to hear for the weekend ahead? Some simple advice or guidance that would help point them in a direction that feels useful. Just clearing for Sag. Interesting. So similar to our Scorpios, they get this Two of Swords, this feeling of indecision, this feeling like something's not quite resolved. This lack of resolution can really weigh you down. And it's almost like you don't even know that it's weighing you down until you get clear on it. And then, whew, it feels so much better that that part's resolved. The Five of Wands reversed here, this is obviously a chess game with yourself, right? Like this is an internal conflict, something like you keep moving the pieces around and it's this effort to win at something, or effort to like looking for that win and an inaccessibility to it. It just feels like you can't win, right? It feels like you can't win, and it feels like there's this lingering decision that you kind of darned if you do, darned if you don't type thing. So look, you like the Leos this month have an opportunity to be of selfless service, to put somebody else's needs first. The star reversed here. So it's like, don't take this the wrong way, right? Like it's not about you. I have Sag rising. So it's just not about you. It's not about finding that win. It's not about finding that approval. It's not about even finding that answer or that clarity. It's like, where can you get out of your own way and just come at this weekend with a heart of service. Could be a pivotal chapter in your life going on right now. You never know. All right, let's clear for our Capricorns. What is it that our Capricorns need to hear for the weekend ahead? Just clearing for Capricorn. Okay. All right, Ten of Wands reversed with the Empress. Maybe the Capricorns are winning the Tarot reading this weekend. Okay, so the Ten of Wands reversed is still a very positive card of affluence and good things coming your way. Might be a little bit slower to reach your goals, but that's okay. You're in it for the long haul. The Empress is all about your creativity. So finding your creative brilliance, finding your creative zone. What time of day are you most creative? What are you eating when you're most creative? What's your diet like? What's your environment like? How are you digesting life? How can you set yourself up to be really creative? Because I feel like part of the thing that you're creating, this fertility, this spring that's coming forward in you, is going to be good. It's going to work out. This is really solid. This is feeling like that that power and that drive is there for you. So this feels like one of the best readings that we've gotten so far. So Capricorn, this is a good weekend to put your best foot forward and find your creative zone. Okay. Clear, and creativity can come in many, many realms, right? Let's clear for Aquarius. So like, to touch on that, creativity. Yes, you can get out your paints. Yes, you can do a different yoga flow. Yes, you can create like something interesting in the kitchen that leads to abundance. You could be creating something that has a lot of calories in it. You could be creating a masterpiece recipe for your next cookbook. You could be creating like lots of things, right? So creativity can apply to any area of life, right? So let's clear the deck for Aquarius. And what is it that I'm sorry, I just can't get off this thought. So that Ten of Wands, it's almost like Jupiter. It's good luck and abundance, right? But it's also be careful what you wish for, because there are some things that you don't want an abundance of, or that you want an abundance of that can lead to other issues. So when bees swarm, right? This is an abundance of bees. They're replicating that fertility is there. So I'm just being aware that that your creativity and your fertility could lead to abundance of things that may be wonderful and maybe not what you had in mind, right? So this idea of something multiplying is coming up for you. All right, now we can clear for Aquarius. Spirit wouldn't let me leave that thought alone. All right, so for Aquarius, we've got here a King of Pentacles. Very good. It is reversed. And a High Priestess reversed. So Aquarius spending some time alone, you know, like dressing like the goddess that you are or god that you are, really putting yourself in a place where you feel divine. You know, this is a time of inward thinking. This is a time that you don't need to be out in a bunch of different auras. You don't need to be out experimenting with a whole lot of different opinions. This is a time of personal magic. And so you're going to have to slow down and sit with yourself, which is some of the best therapy there. If you want really good therapy and you don't want to spend a dime, just be quiet with yourself with nothing else and meditate, right? Meditate and listen. And don't try to fix something or solve something. Just breathe in and out and pay attention to the breath as it comes through the nose and out the nose, and try to just soften and relax the pituitary, relax the mind, you know, relax the jaw, and try to go within and allow something to rise up without your effort, without producing anything, right? So this is a softness, this is a receptivity time, this is a time of rest and quiet, really alone, which is good. You know, it's not lonely. It's just finding clarity and peace from source. All right, last but not least, let's get our Pisces. What is it that our Pisces need to hear for the weekend ahead? Just clearing the deck for Pisces, knowing that all is well. All is well. You get a World card and an Emperor reverse. So I know that some things are upside down at work. I know that, you know, things aren't clicking. They're not feeling like they're just flow and easy. Maybe you don't feel like you have your audience, or maybe they're not responding in a way that you're hoping for. Maybe you're just in the wrong line of work. You know, my dad told me one time, Tiffany, you've just been in the wrong job for a long time. And I'm like, well, if you knew that, why didn't you clue me in a little sooner, right? So maybe some of you Pisces are just been in the wrong job for a long time. Are you ready for a change? Or maybe there's a change of power at work, but it does feel similar to that Aries reading where it just feels a little bit sticky right now. Maybe you're not finishing what you set out to start in a way that feels like you can wrap it up in a nice bow, but it does seem like something's over because you get the World card. You've learned your lessons at the current work situation. So I do feel like your work is mutating into something else, something bigger, something that fills you up more, that really showcases your whole self, your whole personality, your whole, something that just illuminates everything. And so I feel like you have learned the lessons at work currently. I'm not suggesting everybody go out and quit their jobs. I'm just saying there's something that's pivoting, that's mutating, that's changed you. And because you've changed, you see your work differently. And I mean, I do it. You guys have seen the Wise Skies logo change from time to time. You've seen different services and offerings from time to time. You have seen different colors. You've seen this business grow and change over the years. And so there's an offer like that for you Pisces watching too. So guys, I'm really glad that you're here. Thank you so much for hanging out. I know there's a lot of readers. There's a lot of channels you could watch. And there's a lot of lives out there. So I feel like there's a message here for you. You know, I feel like there's something that will resonate, that will reflect, that will help you see yourself, will help you give a key to your weekend and how you can best use your energy. And sometimes it's as simple as not that, and not that is still useful information. If you know what you don't want to eat, it gives you information about what you do want to eat. So if you hated your reading, use that as information to propel you in the direction you do want to go. And if you loved your reading, I really appreciate your feedback. I read all of it. I appreciate the emails and the comments so much. Until we can work together again, namaste. And we'll see you at wiseskiescollective.com.